Shot, rebound, picked up, Keno Hill, what a great save! Stone cold, wow! Calgary Junior shoots! Game over! That's the trophy. Fireworks on. The atmosphere is electric. Here we go!
Good evening and welcome to Scotiabank Saddledome, where tonight it's the return engagement in a home-and-home series for the Mammoth and Roughnecks. Last weekend, the Riggers walked out of Denver with a 14-12 win to put them in first place in the West in the young NLL season. Tonight, Colorado will look to return that favor in one of the league's longest and most heated rivalries. It is the Roughnecks and Mammoth, live tonight from Calgary at the Scotiabank Saddledome. My name is Grant Farhall with Ryan Ballantyne. Glad you're with us here tonight on NLLTV.com for this tilt between two West Division foes, Ryan. And as we look ahead to this game, really for the Calgary Roughnecks, already 2 wins under their belt this season. They are finally off to a good start after having just disastrous starts for the last 2 seasons prior to this one.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons it was all about chasing their division rivals to keep up. 2 years ago it was an 0-6 start. Last year they went winless in the first few games as well before finally getting off the schneid. This year a 2-1 start, which can make a substantial difference when you're talking about the season. We're only 3 games in, but you can win the season series with the Colorado Mammoth with a win here tonight on Star Wars night here at the Rough House. And if you can put it in tonight and get the win, you can give yourself an extra half-game lead in effect over the Mammoth in the standings. So not only would you be a full game up in the standings, you'd also have that tiebreaker when it came to the season series. So the divisional race for the Roughnecks, very important in the early going. They've stepped up to the plate and come away 2-1 through their first 3 and are looking to extend that division lead here tonight.
Well, when you talk about how stacked up the West Division is early on, in fact, all 4 teams in the West have 2 wins at this point. Different games played, of course, but nonetheless, I would dare say that unlike past seasons, all 4 teams in the West have at least got off to solid starts. Probably the surprise in the division was Vancouver early on. They've come back to the pack since then, and meanwhile Saskatchewan is starting to turn it on. So indeed, you want to keep pace and keep things going so you aren't in a panic state through the balance of the season when it comes to try to drive for a playoff position, as the Roughnecks have been for the last couple seasons. When we talk about the Mammoth, Ryan, of course, no John Grant Jr. in the lineup. He hasn't played yet this season, and we're used to seeing John Grant Jr. come in here and for years and years just dominate. The man picking up the slack for the Mammoth the last couple seasons, Callum Crawford, who arguably is maybe the best free agent signing across the league in the last couple years.
25 points so far this year. Callum Crawford getting it done with assists. When you look across this lineup, Callum Crawford leads with 8 goals so far on the season, but there are 4 other Mammoth players with 7 goals apiece. So they've very much been spreading the offense out across the floor, and everybody, when they get their stick on the ball, is dangerous and able to put it behind the goalie.
Absolutely. We should also tell you that we're on a milestone watch tonight. Jeff Shatler is 1 point away from breaking the Roughnecks all-time scoring leader when it comes to points. That record currently held by Caleb Toth, whose name and number is hanging here in the rafters at Scotiabank Saddledome as part of a Forever a Roughneck honor that the team bestows upon the very best that have donned this uniform for this franchise. And you and I were talking, and I dare say that this kind of snuck up on me. You and I have watched Jeff Shatler for many years here, have seen him develop from an elite defender and transition player into an elite weapon offensively, and all of a sudden he is knocking on the door of history, and a fantastic lacrosse player, and he couldn't ask for a nicer guy off the floor as well. So tonight we expect to see history, as Jeff Shatler will likely break that record.
Yeah, it comes. Obviously, a lot of his points have come very successfully on the side with Dane Doby. We want to offer our congratulations to Dane Doby, who got over the 300 goal plateau last week, now on 301 for the career, and a lot of assists on those goals coming from what will be the franchise's all-time leading scorer, likely by the end of tonight's game, in Jeff Shattler. And Jeff Shattler, of course, moving from transition up to forward after an MVP season, could not be better. And like you mentioned, always been very gracious with us on our Roughnecks radio podcast. Always been very good in the community, making sure that they're moving up with the grassroots level of lacrosse. So Jeff Shattler will obviously, you can't imagine that he won't have his name one day raised up to the rafters here in Calgary to join Caleb Toth in that Forever Roughneck program. But at the same time, of course, he'll do it as the all-time leading scorer. He's got a couple guys hot on his heels in this team right now with Curtis Dixon and Dane Doby, third and fifth respectively for all-time career points. But Jeff Shattler will have the franchise lead likely by the end of tonight.
We'll take you down to the floor now for the national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
All right, we're just moments away from getting this one going tonight between the Colorado Mammoth and the Calgary Roughnecks. Again, thanks for joining us here on NLLTV.com. Starting goalies tonight should be a good matchup. Frank Chiliano for the Roughnecks, 2-0, 11.0 goals against average, 74.1 save percentage. He, of course, missed the first game of the season with a suspension, but has come back and posted two really solid performances on the road to get the Roughnecks to 2-1. Dylan Ward, one of the best goalies in the league, 2-1, 11.38, 77.2% save percentage. Member of the second team All-Pro team in the NLL last year, but Ryan got chased a week ago by this Roughneck team who really got their offense rolling.
Yeah, it was interesting. You saw Curtis Dixon with the sock trick against Vancouver a week before, and it really seemed like they wanted to shut Curtis Dixon down the following week in Colorado, focusing a lot of defense, collapsing a lot of defense, which freed up Tyler Digby to put 5 goals on the board against this Mammoth team, including 3 power play markers. Tyler Digby got it done last week. The question with this Roughnecks offense on a week-to-week basis is who is going to be the trigger man, who is going to be the one that shuts, that gets the goals, because it does seem to rotate on a week-by-week basis. And it'll be, we'll see who gets the job done here for the Roughnecks tonight.
Absolutely, and that side with Dixon, Berg, and Digby is just proving to be a handful. It's pick your poison when it comes to the Roughnecks, especially as Wes Berg continues to develop into an elite offensive weapon in this league. Face-off battle tonight probably will largely be Tyler Burton for the Roughnecks versus Dan Coates, the captain of the Mammoth. And don't expect to see a big edge either way from either side, as both those gentlemen pretty much 50% on the draws. And however, certainly as the game progresses, the draws become more meaningful in the late stages, but it should be an even matchup on the dot here tonight.
It looks like the ceremonial face-off here tonight. There's some first responders here in Calgary.
Now we should note that Robert Hope, who, pardon me, not Robert Hope, the Mammoth rather, will be playing without one of the guys who's really picked up the offensive slack in the absence of John Grant Jr., and that's Jamie Noble. He was injured last week, and that did lead to a suspension for Greg Harnett, initially ruled to be a 6-game suspension, although we are waiting to confirm if he is in the lineup here tonight, and if he is, that would mean that he would have appealed that suspension. But what we do know for sure is that Noble is out, and that means Brent Adams will get into action here for the Mammoth, and that's a big loss for a Colorado team that's already missing, as we talked about, John Grant Jr. They're going to really have to lean on Callum Crawford and that balanced scoring that they've been having so far early in the season.
Yeah, Jeremy Noble had a hat trick last week before he left the game after that hit from Greg Harnett, and you could see that the Twitter feeds this week from the Roughnecks players not exactly happy with the suspension for Greg Harnett, listed at 6 games total, a 5-game suspension for being a repeat offender, which is something that he can't avoid. That 5-gamer is in there, but nevertheless, the Roughnecks tonight will be looking to continue to build on the momentum that they got last week with a 14-12 victory.
And the Roughnecks get the first possession. This is Dan McRae, runs away from a couple defenders, now passes off, and the Roughnecks will work it from that far side. Pass down low, there's a shot off the bar as the Roughnecks come very close. Loose ball recovered, and they'll get a new 30. They swing it around to the far side, and that has been the side that's carried so much of the offense when it comes to the Roughnecks. Dixon tries to spin to the net, cut off nicely there, and we'll get a possession change.
Holding the stick.
Oh, pardon me, you're right, a penalty call.
Yeah, penalty call coming up here. 2 minutes for holding the stick to Colorado. Calgary's power play will go to work early.
That power play sitting at exactly 50%. The PK for the Mammoth has struggled at times, just 37.5%, and it is Joey Capito that'll sit down. And the Roughnecks will look to capitalize just 36 seconds into this game with a power play goal. That's Wes Berg playing the high spot. He'll now put it over to the man who scored his 300th goal. That's Dane Dobie. Now they move things around. Pass off. Here's Schattler now. Schattler gets a pick, now tries a shot, save made. And a nice job by Dylan Ward there to jump on the rebound. Tries a rainbow pass out towards center and recovered there nicely. This is Dan Coates now. He curls away from a check. And now with a minute 33 remaining in the Calgary power play, this is Crawford. Crawford plays it up high to Adams. Again, into the lineup here tonight. Now back down to Crawford. Crawford surveys the scene. And there's a hard pick, and that'll give Calgary the ball back here with now a minute 20 remaining on their power play. And there is, I believe, Greg Harnett. So Greg Harnett in the lineup tonight, which would lead us to believe that the suspension has been appealed. Otherwise, it makes no sense whatsoever. So nonetheless, the Roughnecks now working 5-on-4. Berg in that same spot, playing up high. Now he gets a pick. Berg gets some room, tries a shot, scores! Wes Berg on the power play. 1-0 Calgary.
Nice shot from Wes Berg, just ducked around his man, got the pick like you mentioned, and finds a spot behind the Mammoth goaltender for the Roughnecks' first goal of the game. And as you can see, just a nice pick there from Tyler Digby, pops him free, and Berg makes no mistake and puts it home again. When you talk to Curtis Dixon about whether or not he could duplicate his 60-goal season from a year ago, he said, if I can't, it's going to be because of that man right there. Wes Berg, his 4th goal of the year, and Dixon said that he expects that it would be Wes Berg scoring more goals, which would take some away from Dixon. Not that he's been any slouch in that department with 10 goals after 3 games.
Well, again, it's really pick your poison when it comes to the Roughnecks because of all those weapons. There's a shot, scores! 2-0 Roughnecks, and now some rough stuff after that goal by Curtis Dixon, right on cue, as he, I suppose, keeps pace with Westberg.
Yes. I'm not sure if Curtis Dixon could hear me from there, but nevertheless, Curtis Dixon gets in and just works his way to the center of the floor, goes right up the pipe, and 5-hole on the goalie, makes it 2-0. And some words being exchanged by Tyson Bell and a Mammoth defender down the floor.
11 goals already on the season for Superman. 2-0 Calgary. Shots on goal, 4-0 for the Roughnecks. That's the kind of start they were looking for. At times in the last couple of years, slow starts both to the season and in games have really plagued this Roughneck team. So this is certainly a change of tune for the team that they will welcome. And they have the possession again, looking to go on an early run here and build on that 2-goal lead. Sent back to the point area, now over to the far side. There's a shot kicked out there nicely by Dylan Ward. Roughnecks all over the loose ball so far early in this one. They come up with another one. There's a pass down low and another save by Ward. His best stop of the night so far. Now the Mammoth will look to erase some of this momentum that the Roughnecks have had early in this one. Capito has it. Capito passes off. And there is Crawford. Crawford has a man late into the play off the bench, and now they're going to work it from the far side. Swung back over here near side into the stick of Crawford. Crawford now looking for space. Has Rouet. Rouet now passes off. There's a shot blocked, and the ball comes all the way back towards the center area. Races on for it, and chopped ahead nicely by the Roughnecks. That's Bell now curling off. And, pardon me, that was Scott Carnegie, I believe. Now here's a opportunity for the Roughnecks. Down low, and another save by Ward as he stones the Roughnecks point blank. And a couple big saves here in the last couple minutes to keep this one 2-0. Now the other way, shot attempt there, nowhere near as it hit a stick. That was off the stick of Jordan Gillis. And now the Roughnecks turn it over and come down the floor once again. That's Scott Carnegie into the hands of Jeff Schattler. Again, we're on the milestone watch for number 77, 1 point away from becoming the all-time points leader for the Roughnecks. Digby now passes off. That's in the hands of Westberg. Berg now holding on, passes back. Here comes a shot, scores! Dane Doby gets into the action. 3-0 Roughnecks.
Career goal number 302 for Dane Doby here. Just nice ball movement there from the Roughnecks as they get it across. And I don't believe Jeff Schattler was in on that one because it went to Digby, then Berg, then Doby. But nevertheless, Jeff Schattler was in on the beginning of that play, but it will be assists to Berg and Digby as Dane Doby increases the lead to 3-0.
Well, they're calling it Jeff Schattler's goal right now. We'll get a replay on that, as I'm quite certain it was Doby, including the prototypical vintage Dane Doby celebration.
The fist pump kick.
Here come the Roughnecks again as they're feeling it early in this one, leading 3-0, and we're only 3 minutes into this one. Schattler has the ball again. Schattler plays it to the slot. There's a shot, and either off the bar or maybe Ward got a piece of that one. I'm not sure. Regardless, make it 8-0 in terms of shots on goal right now. Has been all Roughnecks early in this one. And they have the ball down at the Mammoth end again. Digby now to Schattler. Schattler now fakes a shot. Now he looks to pass off. Gets a bit of room. Pass down low. Doesn't quite get there, though, and the Mammoth turn it over. Now look to run the floor now with 10:22 to go. They're down 3-0. And really haven't had much of a sniff down at the Calgary end here. Crawford can change that. Crawford has a man up high. Rouet back to Crawford. Crawford immediately greeted, gets around the defender. Crawford shoots, pass over to the side, and getting over there in time was Jeff Schattler to interrupt that play. It looked like a quick stick, yawning cage opportunity off a pass that completely fooled me. I thought Crawford was going to shoot there, and but they weren't even able to get it on net. Now here's Cotoni. He tries a shot. Another save by Ward. Ball is on the floor and recovered there by the Mammoth.
Well, and how about some vintage defensive work from Jeff Shatler? Won the MVP trophy 1 year as a transition player in this league, was up and down the floor all through that season and showing the defensive chops there, keeping the Mammoth off the scoreboard.
Now there's an opportunity. Ball skips wide of the net. That was off the stick of Chris Wardle. And now here's an opportunity for the Roughnecks. Burton trying to chase it down. Gets it, gathers it in. Odd man rush. Burton's in there, takes a shot. Saved by Ward. Boy, can't blame Dylan Ward in this one early. He's given up 3, but he's made at least 3 or 4 other point-blank stops on 5 bell chances. Now here's Coates. Coates will slow things down here, which maybe isn't a bad idea here for the Mammoth. Rouet has it. Rouet passes up high to Crawford. Now they'll go back over to the other side. Opportunity developing here for the rookie Haywires. He passes off, shot in on Chiliano, who hasn't really seen much of the ball. Goal light comes on, but an itchy trigger finger there. There is no goal, obviously. And now the Roughnecks will come down looking for more. 8:38 to go here in the first quarter. It's 3-0 Calgary. Dane Doby has one of those goals, and now he has the ball. Plays up high. There's the big man, Tyler Digby. Digby greeted. Pass to the high crease area. We'll get a whistle on the play and a timeout on the floor with the Roughnecks leading this one 3-0. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Time for our String King Unstrung hero, a player who may not have chipped in on the score sheet, but contributed for his team in other ways. So tell me who you've got.
Well, he definitely didn't contribute on the scoreboard, but he was a big factor in his team's win this week. We spoke about him a little bit earlier on in the show. I'm going with Aaron Bold as my unstrung hero for this week, and here is why. Saskatchewan Rush really needed to avoid going 0-3 to start the season, and Aaron was a big factor in how they were able to do that. He started off the season a little shaky. In fact, he was suspended for the first game, then coming out against Toronto, he only had 36 saves on 49 shots, but he was so solid between the pipes in this one, stopping 40 shots. He had 40 saves on 48 shots, a solid performance, a real big reason why the Rush were able to win this one. And I think he's going to be a huge factor in if this team wants to get back to the playoffs and hopefully make it to their 3rd Champions Cup in a row. So that is why Aaron Bold is my unstrung hero for this week.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada. Tonight's game is brought to you in
3-0 the Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth. We've got 8:25 to go here in the first quarter, and should note here that on the score sheet right now, Curtis Dixon's goal, the second of the game, assisted by Jeff Shatler. That assist gives him the record we talked about at the start of this show, the all-time leading point getter when it comes to the Calgary Roughnecks, surpassing Caleb Toth. So congratulations to Jeff Shatler. That is an impressive milestone by that young man who really has just been one of the best Roughnecks of all time here in Calgary. Back to live action. Battle in the corner, and it looks like the Mammoth are going to come out of that. Joey Capito does a nice job of coming over to take the loose ball. Now Greg Downing in transition. He passes off to Jacob Rouet. Now they go back and forth with Crawford. Rouet has it in his stick again. Rouet looking for a pick, gets it, and then the ball falls out of his stick briefly. Now still just 15 to shoot on the clock, so he's got time to reset things, and they'll do just that. There's Zach Greer. That pass hits a stick, and that allows the Roughnecks to take over, and in transition, here comes Dan McRae. McRae has numbers with them, but doesn't like how it's unfolding, so he's gonna curl away from the check and instead bounce it back to the point. And the Roughnecks will get the offensive team on the floor here, including Dane Doby, who has it. Doby now skipping down that left side. Doby now a bit of room, now tries to get around the defender, and a tricky one-handed pass to a cutting man doesn't connect. And here come the Mammoth in transition. Josh Sullivan passes off to Callum Crawford. The offense pretty much works through Crawford every time down the floor, and he cuts in and nearly puts a backhand in with a couple of nice dance moves. And now the Roughnecks take over. Here is Scott Carnegie. Carnegie has help and delivers it to Katoni. Katoni, the rookie, passes over onto the far side, swung immediately back. There's Schattler a shot as he tried to slow it down. He'll do that. Little off-speed pitch every once in a while to fool the goalie. That time Ward, though, was not fooled. And instead releases it down the floor to Joey Capito. Capito now has help off the bench. And now Adams passes off. Rouet has it to Greer. Greer seems to burn the Roughnecks every time he plays them. Now Wardle has it. Wardle takes all sorts of punishment, so he'll come to Adams. Adams fakes the shot, gets around his man to the net, and Chiliano makes a save. Mammoth recover the loose ball, though.
Nice stop there from Chiliano on the quick shot, trying to go low on Frank, but not able to squeeze it past him.
Rouet tries a shot, scores! Jacob Rouet gets the Mammoth on the board. They needed that badly, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, nice shot there from Rouet going far side post on Frank Chiliano, using the players as a screen and just finding a bit of room in between Chiliano and the post and cutting the deficit to 2.
Again, the last couple minutes, the Mammoth have established their game a little more. 1-point shots on goal were 10-zip, now 11-5. So they are into this one, and you had to know that this one was not going to get too silly. The Mammoth and the Roughnecks play a lot of close games, play a lot of overtime games, and John Grant Jr. has ended his share of those overtime games. So I think the Roughnecks would be happy not to see Jr. here tonight, as most teams wouldn't be, although obviously for the league, would rather have him on the floor. Just one of the all-time greats, maybe the all-time great in my opinion. Now Crawford passes off. Double team, so it comes back to Crawford. Back to the defender, around the defender, to the net, and just puts it wide of the far post. As Callum Crawford has showed off some moves here tonight early in this one. Dan McRae now has it for the Roughnecks. He passes off and will hit the bench. And here is Jeff Schattler. Schattler has Doby to the net, tries a shot, scores! Dane Doby with a pretty one, 4-1 Roughnecks. I didn't think he had the room down there.
Yeah, Doby gets loose to just a little bit, a bit of a shuck and jive, and puts it behind Ward. A nice shot here from Doby, and Doby coming over to tap Schattler on the head. It was a nice feed from number 77, and 44 finds himself wide open and gets in low. And you can see a nice little feed here to a cutting Dane Doby, and not much space in front of the crease. But Doby is best when in tight and makes it a 4-1 game.
That's the kind of chemistry you only get by playing pretty much a decade together, as these two men have. And again, we've seen these two guys grow up together here as member of the Roughnecks, and now they're starting to set all sorts of records when it comes to the team record books. Roughnecks coming down the floor again, looking for a 4-goal lead. It's played back to Doby again. He plays it down low. There's a shot wide of the far post. Now a battle for it over near the boards. Berg's going to come over, just try to throw it towards the net, but he hit Curtis Dixon in the derriere, or maybe the neck. So it allows the Mammoth to recover. And Jordan Gillis has it near center. He passes off to Jacob Rouet, the goal scorer here for the Mammoth. Rouet gets it back from Crawford. Now he'll send it over to the far side. That's Eli McLaughlin. McLaughlin passes off. There's a swim move. Nice move there by Greer. Couple moves, spin move, steps out, shoots. Ball was deflected and skipped wide of the post.
Yeah, the defense for the Roughnecks tonight has had active sticks. They're getting in the way of shooting lanes. They're getting in the way of passes, being very aggressive defensively. And again, the pressure, even though this is an early season game, of knowing that you can close out the season series here tonight against a divisional opponent, obviously is feeling it for the Roughnecks.
There's a nice save there by Dylan Ward to keep this one 4-1. And now the Mammoth will look to take a bite out of that lead as they come down the floor again. Brent Adams had a nice move a few minutes ago. Plays it up high to Crawford. Crawford goes over to the other side. That's Haywires. Haywires passes off. Now comes into the stick of Crawford. Crawford takes some whacks, tries a shot well wide of the net. It's going to come all the way back towards the center area, and that'll be over and back against the Mammoth. with 3:20 to go here in the first quarter, and a 4-1 Calgary Roughneck lead over the Mammoth. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Yeah.
Like I want to come up, like you guy runs into me, just get out and you switch.
Right? Blew him up. Fall back to the net, right? Jump.
4-1 the Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth, and the ovation you hear at Scotiabank Saddledome is for number 77, Jeff Schattler, who earlier in the first quarter became the all-time leading scorer for the Calgary Roughnecks, and the fans here showing their appreciation. And I think this first quarter for Jeff Schattler, Ryan, is just a great example of his career, because in many ways the best play he made was on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, prevented a Colorado goal for certain early in the game, and kept what was a 3-goal lead alive at that time.
Roughnecks have the ball at the offensive end of the floor again, and that'll be a change in possession. And the Mammoth take over here, trailing 4-1 with exactly 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Still a lot to go in this one. Although if you're the Roughnecks, you have to be very happy with what has been one of their better starts that we've seen in a long time. Rouet has it. He's got the goal for the Mammoth. Passes off now to Crawford again. Crawford plays it up high to Wardle. Wardle now to Zach Greer. And that'll be a possession change for the Roughnecks. Roughnecks into the stick of Jeff Schattler. Now back to Dane Dobie. He's got 2 in this one. With 2.5 minutes to go. Now Schattler will lane to that, tries a shot, scores! Jeff Schattler makes it 5-1 with a nice individual effort. And what a night for him so far.
Yeah, you can't sleep on Jeff Schattler, the goal scorer, no matter how much you put beside Dane Dobie on that left side. If you give Schattler a path to the net, he's going to take it. He gets by Sweeting and puts it in the bottom of the net to beat Dylan Ward and make it 5-1 in the first quarter. What a start for these Roughnecks, and that is it for Dylan Ward. Alex Bouquet making his way to the net. We'll see how long this goes for Dylan Ward, but for the second straight week, the Roughnecks chase Ward from the net.
And the thing is, I think you could argue that without Ward, this could be 8 or 9-1. Of those 14 shots the Roughnecks have had on net, almost all of them have been significant scoring opportunities, as they have been all over the Mammoth in this one. Now there's a 3-on-1 down in the corner, and no surprise that the Mammoth are the ones that walk out of the pile with the ball. And I believe we have a penalty upcoming here to the Roughnecks on a late whack.
Yeah, Tyson Bell's going to go to the box here. He took a shot at Cameron Holding around the back of the net, and so he's going to sit for 2 or less. And once we get out of this man-up situation, or, of course, they could always score with the man advantage right now.
Yeah, 6-on-5 action. Crawford has it. Pass over to the side. Oh, a yawning cage, and it's missed by Wardle. As again, Crawford just found a seam with a laser pass, and Wardle couldn't put it in the yawning cage. But it will be the Mammoth now going to the power play. Their power play has been lethal so far. They call it interference on Bell. As I was saying, the Mammoth power play has been lethal, number 1 in the NLL, 63%. This is not a team you want to put a man up.
No, scored 4 times on the man advantage in this game last week that they ended up losing 14-12. So very efficient power play for the Mammoth.
Here's Crawford, one of the reasons for that, gets the return pass, now swings it up high. There's Greer, a chance, gets his own rebound, pass up high. There's the shot and a big save there by Chiliano. Loose ball up for grabs. Eli McLaughlin climbed the ladder to get it, and now we get a whistle, and I believe we're going to get another penalty to the Roughnecks.
Yeah, as McLaughlin went up high to get it. The cross-checking penalty here to Calgary. I believe.
Get the replay there.
So, I mean, the referee right on top of the action. Now a 5-on-3 for the Mammoth.
All kinds of room out there. Crawford and Greer go back and forth. Crawford again looking for that quick stick opportunity that he has set up a couple times, and they haven't been able to make it work. Now Crawford fakes the shot up high to Greer. He shoots it, misses the high post, had room up there. But again, it's going to be the Mammoth recovering it. McLaughlin has it. McLaughlin shoots, look to catch Chiliano napping, but Frank tracked him all the way there.
It was a little bit late in the shot clock too, as Greer just missed the top of the net, so there was no reset on that shot from Greer, so they were forced to kind of send one in probably earlier than they wanted to.
Got 53 seconds remaining on the 5-on-3, 33 seconds in the quarter. Look at the work here, short-handed. Finally, the ball muscled out of the stick of Dixon, and I think he now has taken a penalty.
Absolutely he has. Dixon will go to the box. It's 5-on-3 already.
Now here's an opportunity, scores! Zach Greer fakes low, goes high. 5-2 as the Roughnecks have got themselves into some penalty trouble here and are in danger of letting the Mammoth back in this one.
Well, anytime you take back-to-back-to-back penalties, that's certainly not going to turn out well. And the fans letting the referee know what they think of this current situation, as Dixon will head over and sit for 2 or less. Worse for the Roughnecks because Dixon, one of the team's best penalty killers offensively. Good at keeping possession, holding possession of the ball and taking time off the clock. So now it'll be a 53-second 5-on-3 here.
Absolutely. So the original penalty comes off the board. And there's a pile up there that the fans feel like should have gone the Roughnecks' way. And there's a big hit as Dan McRae puts his man down. And as the first quarter expires, this one has a little bit of heat to it. And the Calgary Roughnecks will head to the quarter up 5-2.
And the Roughnecks a little bit upset with the bench management for Colorado at the end there, suggesting maybe a too many men penalty was warranted.
We're going to see if Kayla Spees can grab a member of the Roughnecks, and she is going to talk to, of course, the man of the hour, number 77, Jeff Shatler.
Let's go down to Kayla Spees. Kayla, who do you have with you?
Well, Jeff Shatler, first up, congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
And I know the fans love it. A personal question, how does it feel to be the all-time leader in the points category for the Calgary Roughnecks, passing your good friend Caleb Toth?
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. I'm glad I got that monkey off my back, and I'm glad I got to do it in front of my family and these fans.
That's awesome. Now, to the game. That was an incredible pace in that quarter. Was that part of the game plan going in to keep this pace up?
Most definitely. We want to keep attacking them, but they're a great team, so we can't let up on these guys, and we got to stay out of the box.
Well, congratulations again, and good luck in the rest of the game.
Thank you very much.
Jeff Shatler from your Calgary.
All right, 5-2 at the end of the first quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
It is time for this week's Box Bosses, and there's a common theme amongst these 3 players. They're always the players to lead their way for their respective teams. So let's get started off at number 3. I have Mark Matthews for the Saskatchewan Rush. 5 points in his first game, then he had 7 points in his second game, and then he improves with 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points in his third game. He's one of the best players in the game right now, Mia, and he consistently shows us why. Now we're gonna move along to number 2, my second box boss, Lyle Thompson. This guy is a stud on and off the floor. He came up with a 4-goal performance in week 4 against the Black Wolves. He looks better and better as the weeks go by. Here's a guy that's also always got a smile on his face, and how could he not with his team being off to a 3-0 start? Plus, I really don't see this team slowing down anytime soon, and I don't see Lyle Thompson slowing down anytime soon either. And then we move to number 1. He was a box boss last week, actually. I have Ryan Benetch of the Buffalo Bandits, 4 goals, 5 assists. Now, here's a player who has Dane Smith out of his team's lineup, and other guys have to step up and be better. And this is why I'm picking Benny. He's led the way in terms of point production for his team since the first game of the season for the Bandits. 5 points his first game, 7 points his second game, and now 9 points his third game with the team. Here's a veteran guy that just keeps getting better and better.
When a game is more than just a game and means more than winning. When you can feel hard hits and smooth moves. When you watch sparks fly and wheels turn. You know it's more than just a game. You better brace yourself for the loudest house in lacrosse.
Leading the Colorado Mammoth here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome, but again the Mammoth on a 5-on-3 power play to start the second quarter here. Will be for another 28 seconds, and they get a big face-off win to immediately try and take advantage of that. Greer has it. Greer sends it down low. Now back up to Greer. Has room, doesn't shoot. Instead passes off. McLaughlin couldn't take it. Gets it off the end wall. Back to Greer. He passes off again. There's McLaughlin, scores. Nice ball movement there by the Mammoth, and they take advantage and will remain on the power play here. 12 seconds still in that original Scott Carnegie penalty, so they'll have 1:20 on 5-on-4. And really, the Roughnecks in full control of this game until they let their lack of discipline the better of them here. And that's giving the Mammoth an open door to walk right through and get into this game, Ryan.
Yeah, Frank Chiliano did get across on that shot from McLaughlin. It just went in over his shoulder, so unfortunately for the Roughnecks, they find themselves now with just a 2-goal lead. At one point, they were leading this one 5-1, and like you mentioned, that penalty trouble really seemed to give the Mammoth quite a bit of momentum here.
There's a shorthanded break opportunity, but the stick chopped out of the hands of Scott Carnegie, so the Mammoth take over here with still a full 60 seconds in power play time, and they can make this one a 1-goal affair. Despite being badly outplayed for the balance of that first quarter. Greer has it. McLaughlin playing up high. Now Greer again. Over to Crawford as they go back and forth looking for that open opportunity. Just 5 to shoot now, and Greer cut to the net, and the ball came behind him. And that's going to give the Roughnecks a chance to move down the floor. And another stick chopped out of the hands, this time from Mike Carnegie, as the Carnegie boys having a hard time holding on to the lumber here. And that'll give the Mammoth one more opportunity here with 27 seconds remaining in their power play. They set up again. Crawford now on the far side. Works it down low, gets the return pass. Now up high to McLaughlin, looking for that quick stick opportunity. Rouet, though, was well defended. Gets it back to Crawford. Crawford closes in, shot off the chest of Chiliano, who was square to the shooter there. And with 5 seconds remaining, the Roughnecks will look like they will kill off the remaining amount of this penalty. However, possession is going to come here to the Mammoth, or do we have another penalty call? The Roughnecks are not happy.
Wow. That's an interesting call. As an 8-second violation called here on the Roughnecks, turns into a delay of game penalty when the Roughneck player got up and tried to shake the ball loose from his stick. The back official calling delay of game.
The Roughnecks right now with a parade to the penalty box. And again, Mammoth go back up here 5-on-4. McLaughlin up high, over to Crawford, takes the shot, ball is loose, rebound, scores. McLaughlin cleans up the garbage in front, and it's 5-4 as the Mammoth make the Roughnecks pay on the power play.
Yeah, Chiliano just sees the ball at the last second, but it's too late as it goes out. And now
Chiliano wants to
Chiliano
challenge.
is demanding a challenge here.
You see the ball loose there.
And I guess the Roughnecks are saying McLaughlin picked it up in the crease.
Now there's the flag, so this one is going to be reviewed.
Because you can, well, as you saw a rewind of the replay there over top, they're going to say that McLaughlin picked it up off the ground in the crease, thereby, which should have blown the play dead. And it's not often Kurt Miloski throws that challenge flag.
Well, Chiliano was lobbying hard for the review. Although I often say that the players are maybe the worst judges of if it should be reviewed or not. It's hard for them to know where the feet are in relation to the crease. Well, this is a pretty good look right here.
Well, I don't think his foot was the problem. I think it might be that he picked it up in the crease.
Well, I think they're going to mainly look at his right foot here. And when he plants it, it's in there. That looks like a good goal to me.
Well, the question, I think, is whether or not he picks it up. I don't know that that's a problem.
I'm not going to get a look there, but every angle they've shown so far, that looks like a good goal to me, although I am often wrong about many things. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better look there, though, eh?
No,
Great camera work. I mean, you can't see where the.
I guess the question is that foot. Is it?
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah.
Is that foot on the line before it crosses the line?
Again, the ruling on the floor is the one that has to be
overruled. That's across the line.
Yeah.
And that foot's still moving. This is going to be a tough one to overturn from the replays we've seen.
We'll get the call right now as the official is out of the review box. They're going to call it a goal. I think that's probably the right call.
And again, he called it a goal and couched it with due to inconclusive evidence. It's a goal. So
back-to-back power play goals here by Eli McLaughlin, and all of a sudden it's 5-4 thanks to a bunch of penalty troubles from the Roughnecks. And at minimum, though, that review maybe allows Kurt Miloski to get his team to calm down here. Regardless of whether or not you agree with the calls, you have to show better composure than taking 4 straight penalties in probably about 5 minutes. That's just not good enough, and that's going to get yourself in trouble. So we'll see if the Roughnecks can regain their composure here. They still lead this one, but 5-4, as this is a 3-goal run here by the Mammoth. All of those goals coming on the power play or with a I believe one of them was a 6-on-5. No, it was all power play goals now that I think about it. That was off the post too, so that close to tying things up. Bouquet comes out to greet it. He's still in net there as he came in relief of Dylan Ward. Hasn't really seen a lot of action since coming in. Haywire's passes off. Here's Greer now. Greer to Adams. Adams now to Crawford. Quick pass. Those Crawford passes are swift. Greer takes it off the wall. The Mammoth player was down on the floor. No call, and I didn't see what happened off ball there. And finally, with the shot clock expiring, the Roughnecks are happy to play a little footy with it and allow it to expire. Now the Roughnecks will get the offense on the floor here really for the first time in about, 7 minutes of game time.
Yeah, Haywire went down the tunnel after that collision down low.
Now here's an opportunity for Dixon as he puts one hard off the chest of Bouquet, who makes the save, fought it off. And Calgary will get a fresh 30. There's Jeff Shatler now. Over to Berg. Berg now with a little bit of room. Has Dixon cutting across, who put a shot in on that. Bouquet makes another big save. And over in the corner, we got a pile up. That's Bryce Sweeting, who has, I believe, Dixon down.
And Dixon and Sweeting are both going to go to the penalty box here, I think. Dixon's throwing his hands up. Sweeting's going to go 2 for holding. Dixon's going to go 2 for roughing, I believe, is going to be the call. We'll wait for the official signal here from the ref. Well, the official announcement, rather.
Nothing against Bryce Sweeting, but I think the Mammoth will take that trade all day long. Get number 17 off the floor for a couple minutes.
We'll hear the official announcement.
Colorado penalty number 94, 2 minutes holding. Calgary penalty number 17, 2 minutes roughing.
You called it, Ryan. Good eye.
So there it is. Curtis Dixon will sit for 2 for roughing. Cameron Holding, Sweeting rather, will get
4 holding.
2. Yes. 2 for Sweeting for holding.
Here's Greer now. Crawford couldn't look it into the stick, and now he's going to have to battle in the corner. A couple other players come in to take a look. A nice seal-off job there by the Mammoth to recover it. And now it's played up high to Adams. Adams has Greer with him. Now Greer over down low to Eli McLaughlin. McLaughlin tries a shot, blocked and right into the stick, and off to the races are the Roughnecks looking for a transition opportunity. However, pulling up is the captain, Mike Carnegie. He's going to send it across to Dane Doby, and we have another whistle on the play and another penalty coming, I think, to the Roughnecks, and this might have been
too many men.
Too many men. A little quick off the bench, and Doby not happy. And boy, the Roughnecks are beating themselves right now when it comes to penalties. That's exactly it. And I believe it was Doby who maybe left the bench a little early there.
Yeah, again, trying to get ahead of that play, but it seemed like the penalty call came well after Doby had it, so it might have been a second or third man that came off, but nevertheless, penalties have been the story of the second quarter here.
Absolutely, and the Mammoth now with a good opportunity to tie things up after being down 5-1 not so long ago. Here's Greer. Greer to Crawford. Now Greer gets it back as they work it around the outside. Now Greer dances around the defender. Oh, he had all sorts of open side there and just bounced it wide. Now Crawford, pass across. There's a shot blocked. Rebound comes up high. Another opportunity coming. Quick stick chance, and again it goes wide. And Calgary somehow survives all of that and gets the ball back.
Well, Calgary's got to be a little lucky there. Frankie Chiliano got out of position a couple times, but the Mammoth is shooting wide there, and were unable to put it behind them and into the net and tie this game up.
They're looking for that quick stick from Wardle, and there's been 3 or 4 times tonight where it's looked like he's had a lot of open cage there and has just missed on the quick stick. If he can get that going, that looks like a real good look for the Mammoth, as it's been there a few times for them. There's a swim move by Berg, puts it on net. Nice save by Bouquet. Ball recovered by the Mammoth with 55 seconds to go here in the 5-on-4. It's Holding, stepping over center. Holding now. Holding onto the ball. Now passes off. It's just too easy. Crawford now gets the return pass. Crawford has McLaughlin asking for it, so he gives it to him. McLaughlin drops it briefly but recovers. Greer now gets a pick from him. His pass goes awry. Crawford's going to have to chase it down near the bench, and only has 4 seconds to shoot. He'll wind and pass again, looking for Wardle over on the side, and he hit the official instead. And he hears it from the crowd here with 9:24 to go here in the second quarter. 5-4, the Roughnecks with the lead. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports.
Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth 5-4 here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary. Ryan, what's happening elsewhere around the NLL?
Toronto had started its season 2-0. They fall tonight to the Rochester Nighthawks, a 9-8 final there. And in the only other game completed to this point, New England gets their first win of the season. They down Buffalo 13-12. Right here in Calgary, 5-4. And another game later tonight as Georgia will take on Vancouver. A busy night in the National Lacrosse League.
Of note in that game, that's the first time the Black Wolves have sold out their entire building. So congratulations to that organization. Good to see lacrosse finding that market and fans coming out to support the Black Wolves with that sellout. Back to the live action now. 5-4 Calgary with the lead here. And now here's an opportunity in tight. And Doby is stopped there by Bouquet. Now the Mammoth recover and are off to the races as we're finally back to some 5-on-5 lacrosse here for the first time. And it seems like forever. And we'll see if these two teams can maintain that here for a while. As Zach Greer has it. Greer now has a bit of a lane. Passes off. Played up high. Here comes the shot. Well wide of the net. Might have been deflected as Brent Adams tried his luck from well out. And it'll be Calgary possession.
All right, let's go again.
Right now the Mammoth in the midst of a 4-goal run that has really allowed them to get back into it. 2 of those goals on the power play. Another one coming on a delayed call. So it has been a lot of action, a man up for the Mammoth. Now here's an opportunity for Berg looking for the quick stick. That doesn't work. Gillis does a nice job of coming over to find that loose ball. Has Sullivan ahead of the play. Sullivan partial break. He's in there. Tries a shot. And Chiliano makes a big save. Sullivan didn't quite get the clean path as he was cut off nicely by the defender coming back, but still got a quality look on net there. Now here's Dan McRae in transition. He'll wait near the line for some help and gets it. And now Berg has a man off the bench. Here comes a shot, blocked. Dixon can't take the ball off the wall, and instead it's the Mammoth now off to the races. Downing in transition. Downing holds, nearly trips over his own man as Taylor Stewart fell to the floor. So instead Downing just decides to wait for the offense to get themselves organized, and here's Eli McLaughlin. McLaughlin 2 goals in this quarter, looking for more. Hard pick there, will turn the ball back over to the Calgary Roughnecks. And they're looking to try and take advantage immediately, but can't handle the ball cleanly. And we're going to get a quick whistle to start the action again. Here's Scott Carnegie. Carnegie now. Throws it near the back area and contested there. Nice aggressive defense here by the Mammoth, and they are rewarded with the ball. Sullivan has it again.
Yeah, Sullivan was the guy that started that play, trying to jump in front of the pass and intercept it. Was unable to, but nevertheless stopped the man from seeing it clean into his stick and created the turnover.
6:45 to go here in the first half. It's 5-4. The Roughnecks with a 1-goal lead after leading in the first quarter by 4. It's played up high. And now it's over on the near side to Zach Greer. Good pass across the other side. That shot is, well, they're going to reset the 30. Doesn't matter as it comes all the way out near center. And the Roughnecks, for some reason, neither player ran to the ball. Instead, Dan Coach just says, well, I'll take it. And he does. And now plays it to Stewart. This thing's a little sloppy here in the second quarter when it comes to the Roughnecks. And now here's an opportunity. There's a shot, scores. Callum Crawford splits the D. No goal, though, as he stepped in the crease. We'll see if the Mammoth want to challenge that one. It doesn't look like they will.
No, the flag isn't anywhere near coming out of the pocket.
Nice.
Oh, and there it is now.
And the officials now see it.
Question is whether or not it was in time.
Yeah.
You've only got 15 seconds, and there's only 15 seconds left on the shot clock. So you got to think that
it's tight either way. You might have just got it on the floor in time. And the other thing is, when did the official notice it versus when did it get thrown? It was at least a couple seconds there, but I think they're going to allow the review to happen here. And this is the Callum Crawford goal where he cut through 2 defenders as a lane developed that he gladly took. And the ruling on the floor, no goal with the foot in the crease. The official was in exactly the right spot to see it too, but the Mammoth want to try their luck here as we get our first look at a replay. And is that toe in the crease?
That looked, first look,
From that angle, yeah.
From that angle, looked like the foot had landed in the crease.
Right.
I mean,
boy, is there green there?
He's got dark shoes on. That's very hard to tell from this angle at that speed because of the black shoes. But it certainly looks to me like he's on the crease in that shot. He's got black shoes with white right behind the toes too.
So that raises a good question. If you're an offensive player in the NLL, should you wear like bright pink shoes?
No, that makes it easier to tell.
Yeah, okay.
That makes it easier
Fair
to tell
Fair
that
point.
it's there. Maybe bright turf green shoes.
Just camouflage it
Just turf green shoes with a white line about 3 inches.
Here's the ruling. It was a quick review, which leads me to believe it'll stand. Yeah, no goal. So both benches 0-4 on the challenges here tonight. But that partly is the decisions this season have to be quicker. They do not have the time that they did in past seasons to get a replay to make that decision. As you said, Ryan, they only have 15 seconds to decide whether or not to throw the flag. And I would suspect part of the rationale there is that just continuing that momentum, and if they could have tied things up there, that would have been a big one. Instead, the score remains 5-4 here, 5:54 remaining here in the first half. Star Wars night here in Calgary. Take this moment to remind you that the NLL is proud to welcome Sports Interaction as an official partner in Canada for the 2017 season. Sports Interaction is Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Remember, only residents of Canada may open an account. It's not available for those of you outside of Canada. We are happy all of you are with us tonight here on NLLTV.com.
Calling all the officials together to discuss the situation.
Might be
letting Dan Coates has heard it, ran straight to the goalie.
I don't know if it's a game clock issue maybe.
Well, you wonder if maybe it's a shot clock issue.
Yeah.
Because the Roughnecks, you would think, shouldn't be rewarded a fresh 30.
I don't see anything changed on the clock. So regardless, we're back to the live action here. 5-4 Calgary with the lead, and now looking for some insurance. Dixon has it. Dixon back to the defender. Tries the shot. Bouquet has it squeaked through, but it rolls just on the right side of the post for him, and the score remains 5-4.
Yeah, it was a 15-second shot clock that they were given there. That's why the shot clocks weren't running. But what a save by Bouquet, just rolling wide.
Wow, what a move by Dixon to give himself that chance, too. Adams passes off. This is Rouet. Now Rouet to Crawford. Back! Looking for Adams. And again, man, when you're on the floor with Crawford, you have to expect to pass at any time, as he will find you any place. And that one looked like it might have surprised Brent Adams there into the lineup tonight because of the injury situations for the Colorado Mammoth. Now here's Berg. Has a man down low. Nice passing play. Dixon tries a shot. Bouquet, another save. And then he scrambles around and somehow keeps it out. Not textbook goaltending, but good goaltending nonetheless. And the score remains 5-4, 4:50 to go here.
And it's going to be Roughnecks ball here.
We have a timeout on the floor here. We'll be back with more NLL action on NLLTV.com. 5-4 the Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth. 4:50 to go here in the first half. And the Roughnecks looking for their first goal of the second quarter. Alex Bouquet has been perfect since coming in relief of Dylan Ward. 5 saves on 5 shots. And that penalty trouble the Roughnecks got themselves into not only cost them on the scoreboard, but I think it really got them out of their offensive groove. Dixon looks to change that and does. Curtis Dixon makes me look like a fool. And the Roughnecks lead 6-4.
Well, you're not the only one he's done that to in his career. Grant is Curtis Dixon. A nice shuffle move to go 5-hole here on Bouquet. And you got to wonder when Curtis Dixon's got that reputation of dive across the crease. You expect it. You come to expect, okay, here he comes. He's cutting across. I expect him to dive across. And a quick shot right between Bouquet's legs gives Curtis Dixon his 12th of the year and restores a 2-goal lead for the Roughnecks.
Stops the Mammoth run at 4 goals. And I think you're right, Ryan. Curtis Dixon just continues to add to his arsenal of offensive tricks out there. Really creative, and I think you're right, looking to make sure that he is not a predictable player in the NLL, as he certainly changed things up from what we normally would see on that type of opportunity. And as a result, the Roughnecks now lead this one 6-4 and have the ball again, looking to get that momentum back here after a really good first quarter and what has been a bad second quarter to this point. Here's Berg, shoots, and it just skips off the shoulder of Bouquet. Dobie gets the loose ball in the fresh 30 though, plays it back to Schattler, and we have a penalty coming up here to the Mammoth. Chiliano to the bench, so 6-on-5 action now for the Roughnecks. Played up high to Schattler, Schattler over to the other side. Digby now, Berg, back to Schattler. Here's Digby in tight, try to backhand it over the shoulder. Schattler takes the ball, actually gets the fresh 30 as well, so it looks like Bouquet got a piece of that shot by Digby. So Schattler will take advantage of having that time to reset things. Again, 6-on-5 here on the delayed penalty to the Mammoth. Schattler up high again, pass down low now. Now here's Berg to Schattler behind his back. There's a shot, scores! They take advantage on the 6-on-5. Roughnecks now lead this one 7-4.
It looks like that's Holden Catoni's goal as he finds some space and the rookie puts it behind Bouquet. The Roughnecks pot a pair in a row here as Holden Catoni scores and makes it a 7-4 game.
And again, 2 straight goals here by the Roughnecks. I actually believe it's Riley Lowen who gets the goal.
Apologies to Riley Lowen. I can tell you from a broadcaster's perspective and as a Star Wars fan, I really think these Roughnecks jerseys are sharp, but they are near impossible to read from this distance.
There's a cutoff of a breakaway opportunity. Nice defense there by the Roughnecks, and now Manning has it in transition for the Riggers. It is Riley Lowen's goal. So the Roughnecks now, after giving up 4 straight, get a couple back in virtue of that, a 3-goal lead back on the board. And now looking to restore a 4-goal lead, which would match their game high. They had that when it was 5-1. So when it's 5-on-5 here, really the Roughnecks have dominated at times. Dixon now has it. He tries a shot from well out. Bouquet makes the save. And now here's a long breakaway opportunity. Picked off though nicely there by the Roughnecks, anticipating that. Now a quick strike opportunity developing potentially. However, Mike Carnegie decides to let the offense do the job here as the Mammoth did a nice job to hustle back on defense, but Carnegie came over and picked off that home run pass. Otherwise, that would have been a grade A opportunity. Now Berg passes off. Digby can't handle it. Berg on top of the crease, rolls through the crease, so we get a whistle on the play. And with 2 minutes exactly to go here in the first half, Hope takes it back over here for the Mammoth. He'll head to the bench before giving it to Zach Greer. Now there's a quick shot, easily handled there from Chiliano. That was off the stick of Zach Haywires. Now here's a odd man rush opportunity. Shot by Dobie is deflected. Ball to the corner, big hit thrown there. However, the Mammoth survived that hit, and Holding has it. Now stepping into the Calgary end of the floor. Holding now to McLaughlin. McLaughlin got the Mammoth to within one here earlier in the half with a couple power play goals. And that ball is thrown away. And we'll see if the Roughnecks can take advantage here. Picked up, one-on-one opportunity, one-handed shot. Rebound is picked up. And Berg's going to hold on to it here. Manning thought there should have been a holding call there. 1:05 remaining in the half. And we do have a penalty coming up, so it is 6-on-5 again for the Roughnecks. They play it to Shattler. Shattler now to Dixon. Looking over the far side, cutting towards the net, and Bouquet makes a big save as he keeps it out. And Calgary now will go to the power play.
Yeah, the Calgary power play hasn't had many opportunities so far yet this game. They've spent most of the special teams battle on the backside. They had that one power play, I believe, just a couple seconds there, 36 seconds into the game. Since then, they have not had a man-up situation, but for the delayed penalty goal a moment ago from Riley Lowen.
That's right now, 1-for-1 on the power play and looking for more. There's Berg scoring! Wesley Berg makes it 8-4. Just 8 seconds into that 5-on-4, Calgary back up by 4.
Well, I think, again, every time Wes Berg gets a goal, that Mike Board looks up and thanks the 3 teams that passed on that young man in the draft to bring him in here, because Wes Berg is turning into one heck of an offensive talent and just powers that one home for his 5th of the season.
I will say, though, I think that draft overall will go down as one of the best all time. And as much as the Roughnecks love having Wes Berg drop in their lap, I think the teams ahead of them also got some pretty good players. That first round is unreal in terms of the depth and the quality. But yeah, the Roughnecks got a real good one with Wes Berg. In most years, I think the top 4 or 5 players in that draft would go number 1 in any draft.
Absolutely. Like I said, every time I know in speaking to Mike Board in the past, he couldn't believe that Wes Berg fell to 4. And I know that they are glad he did, and goals like that are the reason why.
Just 12 seconds remaining in the quarter here. Calgary up 8-4. Maybe looking for one more opportunity. Chiliano's going to go to the bench here to give them an extra attacker. Here's Dixon. Dixon closes in, tries a shot. Rebound to Doby. Doby tries to put it on net, deflected high and wide. And the half will come to an end with the score 8-4. The Calgary Roughnecks will head to the locker room with a 4-goal lead with a dominant half, albeit for some power play trouble and penalty trouble that the Mammoth took advantage of. 8-4. Stay tuned for the halftime show. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
We got Riley Lowen, one of our newest faces on the team. Now, Riley, your goal was a good goal, good timing to really bolster the lead for the guys going into the 3rd quarter. Why don't you tell us about your goal?
Yeah, it was just a good play by Shattler there, a little dump, and just tried to get the shot off as quick as I could, and got lucky and it went in the net.
Now, the pace of that quarter started off a lot slower than the first. What was the biggest difference for you guys?
I think we had a little bit of penalty trouble there, gave them a bit of momentum, so I think if we stay out of the box and play 5-on-5, I think we can pull away with the win.
Thanks a lot for this.
Thank you.
Riley Lowen from your Calgary Roughnecks.
My name is Brian Lemon. I'm Vice President of Lacrosse Operations in the National Lacrosse League. I handle all competitive aspects of the game, and certainly excited to be here with Crossover.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday, we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost count countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
He's got Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Hewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports, and for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season. It's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
It's a very pivotal moment for the sport. How is it going to affect the sport at the grassroots level and really help grow the game?
Well, that's a big part of it, and a lot of what went into the decision making and making this happen is we have a lot of partners now who are kind of coming around and going to help, distribute the content and grow the game together. And a lot of these kids, they live on social media these days, so to be able to provide them a new angle, even after the game to see these highlights is going to be extremely engaging. And, the National Lacrosse League is a big part of growing the game, and we're happy to assist in that.
A very sleek and compact design for these cameras. I think players are going to really enjoy wearing them. What went into the design here?
Well, we knew we wanted to be here someday. And in order to do that, we had to think of a camera that was going to be, sleek and slick enough that the player would forget he's even wearing it. So we wanted to design something, that would do just that and kind of embody the essence of an athlete. And, the great benefit is that these players now actually get to see the game again from their own eyes, and to be able to do that game over game throughout the course of a season is really going to help them perform, and they're excited about it as well.
Well, lacrosse is such a tough sport, and hitting is involved here. So how much of a beating can these cameras take?
Well, I think we're going to put them to the test today. So, they're very strong, they're very durable, and they sit in just the right spot. So we're going to find out.
Shay, we got the chance to catch up with some of the players to see what they thought of the new U-Hawk camera.
Hey, I'm Jesse Gamble with the Toronto Rock in the NLL, and this is
Mia Gordon here from NLL Productions, and we have some exciting breaking news for you today. The NLL has announced a partnership for this upcoming season with Epic Lacrosse. We are joined now with NLL Commissioner Nick Sakevich, as well as owner and founder of Epic Lacrosse, James Maselli. So let's get right into it. Nick, I want to send this to you. Can you talk to us a little bit more about this partnership?
Yeah, so we've been really focused on a lot of the endemic category sponsors, and we're proud to announce that Epic's joining us with many of our previously announced companies like Under Armour and String King. We're really excited to bring Epic on board. They're a best-in-class producer of incredibly good lacrosse equipment, great lacrosse equipment that our players will have access to. Love the company's core values and commitment to lacrosse, and it's really exciting to bring world-class companies like this to the league.
James, what are you looking forward to most joining the NLL in 2017?
Yeah, Mia, thanks for having me today. At Lacrosse, we're very excited. This is our first partnership with a pro league, and we're excited that the best lacrosse players in the world will be using our gear next season, from sticks and heads and mesh to shafts, gloves, arm guards, shoulder pads. They're using the whole lineup that we have.
James, I know you guys have a set of engineers at Epic Lacrosse to create the best possible equipment. So can you take us through that process?
Sure, absolutely. I think it all begins with a passion and love for the game. And all of our engineers, who range from composite engineers to material engineers to mechanical engineers, have all played lacrosse. So they have a understanding of the game unlike any other. We don't have to try to explain what we're looking for. They understand the feel. They understand the performance attributes that players want. So with that, the rest of the company, every single person in our company has actually played lacrosse as well, including our accounting department, marketing department. So we all get in a room and we brainstorm. We like to think of ourselves as problem solvers, and we understand what is wrong with the game or what do we want to fix things from an equipment standpoint, and we brainstorm and we figure it out. And the process is probably the most fun part of my job. I would think that they agree as well. And we just continue looking for new materials, new process, manufacturing techniques that can build better products for us.
What do you believe will be the biggest difference for these players while using this new equipment?
Sure. I think it's going to come down to feel. Feel is one of those words that it's hard to attach other descriptors around it. We just can say, hey, it feels better. And some of the feedback that we've gotten from the players initially is, wow, I can't believe how nice these gloves feel. We can put a bunch of marketing and technical aspects behind that, but the feel of the product is really what separates it. We're using better materials, better manufacturing process to improve that feel and the connection point between the player and his equipment. And I think the moment that players actually put the gloves on or use one of our sticks, they immediately feel the difference between everything that they've ever used in their career. And we're seeing that every day when we're sending product out to our potential players this season.
Nick, I know that you said you believe partnering with Epic Lacrosse will take the game to the next level. Can you elaborate on this?
Well, the sport of lacrosse is growing so dynamically on both sides of the border, both in Canada and the U.S. And Epic understands that, and all of our partners understand that. And I think the timing for the sport and where we're going to see the sport grow in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be exponential. And having partners like Epic on board and in our family of marketing partners is going to help us grow the sport even further, be it at the grassroots level, like kids playing in high school. We see a huge increase in women playing the game. And at the professional level, the fact that we have a partner like Epic and others that we've announced in the last several weeks is really critical for a league like ours to grow.
Well, a very exciting announcement today, gentlemen. Thank you both so much for joining me. Cannot wait to see what this partnership will bring in 2017. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth as we're set to start the second half here at Scotiabank Saddledome. Thanks for joining us on NLLTV.com. My name is Grant Farhall with Ryan Ballantyne, and the Roughnecks with a good first half there, particularly when not in penalty trouble. We'll see if the Mammoth can reply early here in the second half. They get the first possession, immediately will go to work here, moving right to left. Capita will hand off the ball and then hit the bench, as will Greg Downing. Crawford now on the bench, or off the bench into the play, and gets the pass. Crawford sends it up high and then gets the ball back immediately. Rouet has it. Rouet to Greer. Greer has his man as they move things around here with 3 to shoot. Gonna have to do something quick, and that pass goes awry. Shot on net just as the shot clock was about to expire. No trouble for Chiliano, and he sends it down the floor.
Yeah, Frank Chiliano's looked solid throughout that first half. Again, allowing a couple power play goals, but otherwise stopping almost everything the Mammoth had to offer.
Well, and Frank Chiliano this time entering the season as the absolute undisputed #1 man here in Calgary. Last year had Mike Poulin behind him as the backup to start the season. As the season progressed, Poulin really took over #1 duties. Mike moving on in the offseason and is doing real well down in Georgia. And Frank Chiliano is so far seizing the opportunity here in Calgary to be a bona fide #1 as he is off to a good start in his young NLL season. There's a shot from Katoni that gets deflected. And the Mammoth all over the loose ball, although briefly contested there by Katoni. And now Hope has a hard time with it near center, does step over the line just in time. And now the Mammoth will go to work offensively. Here's Crawford with it. Crawford gives it to the man off the bench. Now they're going to work it from the far side. Here is the rookie Haywires. Haywires passes to Greer. Nice pass down in front, and what a save there by Chiliano as Chris Wardle, who has had several good looks tonight, once again can't cash in. Wardle has the ball again, spins, now passes off to Crawford. Crawford looking for a man cutting to the net. That was Adams. That doesn't work. And now Calgary recovers the loose ball.
Yeah, you got to wonder if Wardle's going to be dreaming of Frankie Chiliano tonight. More nightmares than dreams, though, as Chiliano has had the young man's number.
Well, not only that, but he's also just put the ball wide or missed several quick stick opportunities. Wardle needs to get going. When they're missing John Grant Jr., then they need others to step up, and so far that hasn't happened really tonight. Now there's an opportunity for the Roughnecks, save there by Bouquet. And now the Mammoth off and running. Calgary does a nice job of getting back on defense, but they take a penalty in doing so. Bouquet to the bench, and the Mammoth, who have been lethal working 6-on-5 and with a man up, will go to work here now with another odd man situation on the delayed call. Crawford now has the ball. Crawford to McLaughlin, back to Crawford. Quick pass across the other side. There's the save by Chiliano off of Greer, and he sits on it. And as he does, we'll get the call.
Yeah, I think it might be, I thought it was going to be Jeff Shatler heading to the box, but it looks like Curtis Dixon's taking another penalty. He's gotten into some rough stuff today as Superman. This one a slashing call. The defense tight on 17 as always, and he's obviously taking some liberties going back the other way. This is second penalty of the game.
Mammoth
you can see there a very clear two-handed slash.
Mammoth are 3 for 5 on the power play. That doesn't really tell the whole story, as they also scored on a delayed call where they were already working a man up. But nonetheless, 3 for 5 officially. And McLaughlin scores his third power play goal of the game. 8-5. The Mammoth back to within 3.
Nice play there from McLaughlin. A bit of a swim move over his man. Faked high, shot low, and caught Frank Chiliano a little far or a little too deep in his crease to stop that one. Eli McLaughlin gets his third of the game.
I talked about players stepping up, and Eli McLaughlin certainly has done that. Again, no John Grant Jr. for the entire season so far when it comes to the Mammoth, and also missing Noble, who took that big hit a week ago after scoring a hat trick. So the Mammoth are down when it comes to some of their main offensive weapons, but Eli McLaughlin certainly is stepping up. There's a big pile up near the bench, and it looks like it will be Roughneck ball?
Mammoth ball,
pardon
me. Loose ball push.
Yep, you're right. So a chance here for them to make it a 2-goal lacrosse game after scoring that power play goal earlier. So 2 straight games where they've scored 4 power play goals against the Roughnecks, and plenty of time to do more damage. But right now we're 5-on-5 as the Mammoth now get into the hands of the rookie again. He can't get a shot on net as it was blocked. Massive pile in front of the crease. And now here's an opportunity in transition. Cut off nicely there by the defense, and Scott Carnegie couldn't get away. And instead, he's going to hand the ball off. He holds on to a little bit longer. And now they finally get into the hands of Jeff Shatler, who earlier tonight became the franchise's all-time leading point scorer, surpassing Caleb Toth. Now here's Dixon. Dixon spins, shoots, and nearly had that far side as he caught Bouquet a little unawares. However, the score remains 8-5. Now here's Crawford again. Crawford comes over to the far side. Now they play it up high and eventually do send it back to Crawford. Crawford looking for maybe a pick, but instead decides to pass off to Eli McLaughlin. McLaughlin, nice pass. Rouet, though, couldn't find his man cutting the net. That was Wardle again. McLaughlin now way up high, just 4 to shoot, so he dumps it in the corner. Might have been a pass attempt to the high slot. Either way, it doesn't work, and the Roughnecks take over. Here's Harnett. Harnett now sends it to Curtis Dixon. Dixon now passes off over to the near side. There's a man off the bench. It is the big man, Tyler Digby. Digby now dances through a couple defenders. Down to the corner, was looking back to the point area. That pass doesn't work. Now the Mammoth could have a 2-on-1 developing here. Joey Capito has it. Passes off. There's a shot saved by Chiliano as he stops Creighton Reed. And the Roughnecks recover the loose ball.
Yeah, big stop there from Chiliano to keep the Roughnecks up 3 after the Mammoth started at the half with a power play goal. The Roughnecks trying to restore that 4-goal lead.
Mammoth on the defense now as Calgary goes to work offensively. Here's Shatler, tried an off-speed shot. Looked like he might have had a little room there. However, the Mammoth take over. Running the floor. Opportunity for Dan Coates, puts it wide of the net. Ball way up in the air. Roughnecks had a chance to gather in, couldn't do so. Now it is up for grabs. Still on the floor, bodies flying everywhere. The Roughnecks look like they have an opportunity to take it back here, as that's Chad Cummings in the action. He's provided a lot of grit in his first season with the Roughnecks. Was drafted several years ago, 2012 in the 4th round, and finally making his NLL debut in this 2017 season. It has been impressive. There's a shot, gets through Bouquet, but spins out the other side as he fights that one off. Shots on goal right now, 27-20 favoring the Roughnecks. 8-5 your score with 8.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Still tons to go here in what could end up being a tight game. Here's an opportunity in front, and a big save by Chiliano as he stops Zach Greer point blank. Now here come the Roughnecks in transition. Carnegie pulls up, plays it to Greg Harnett. Harnett now passes to Dixon. He looks around, decides to give it to Jeff Shatler. Shatler now looking at his options. Tried to send it to Wes Berg, but picked off nicely there by Greg Downing. And now the Mammoth have an odd man opportunity. Breakaway, scores! Man in the crease though, no goal, as Chris Wardle continues to be just absolutely snake bit in this one. 8-5 your score, 7:47 to go here in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Scott Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by
8-5 the Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth. 7.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Roughneck possession as they look to add a little bit of insurance. They have not been able to get more than a 4-goal cushion here in this one. Tyler Digby, who went off last week, has been a little bit more quiet here tonight. He passes off. Now here's an opportunity in the high slot. Eventually bounces back to Roughneck possession. They recover it and get a fresh 30 out of it. And here is Digby now. Digby now, a little bit of room, passes off. Here's Catonia's shot. Bouquet takes it off the chest. Nice save there as a bit of a bouncer that came in. And now the Mammoth look to move it down the floor and do so. Callum Crawford with it. Crawford now twirling the stick. Has help off the bench. It's Adams. Adams now plays it down low as they'll work it from the far side. McLaughlin passes off to Crawford. Rouet now to Crawford. And now here's Adams again, one-on-one situation. Tries a shot, a ripper of a shot too. And Chiliano, who's a little deep in his net, fights it off and keeps the score 8-5.
And nice stop there from Frankie Chiliano, keeping it that 8-5 score and really kind of taking all the momentum away from Colorado, preventing them from getting anywhere close. And it looks like Greg Harnett had his stick slashed out of his hands. Sweeting dropped his stick as if to say he was ready to fight Harnett. Harnett just picked up his stick and walked back to the bench.
Well, probably well advised, as Greg Harnett has had a rough go when it comes to penalties and whatnot. Not surprised to see him turn the other cheek there.
Also, maybe when you're appealing a suspension for rough play and a match play, dropping the mitts in the middle of the floor is ill-advised.
Yeah. So the officials explaining the situation, and it looks like it will be a Roughneck power play here. That power play on the season, or on the game, pardon me, 2 for 2. And it's Sweeting that is going to go to the box.
Colorado penalty, number 94, 2 minutes illegal cross-check, 2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh.
Calgary number 11, 2 minutes unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, so they do give Harnett and Sweeting both unsportsmanlike conducts, and the additional cross-checking penalty to Sweeting is what will give Calgary the power play there.
And Harnett's got his hands out as if to ask why.
And while we have a moment, Ryan, I correct myself. I said earlier that John Grant Jr. had not played this season. In fact, he's just been out the last couple games. He did play earlier in the season, so apologies for that error on my part, and appreciate our friends from the Mammoth for correcting us. But John Grant Jr. not in this game tonight, but has seen some action. Hopefully we see him back on the floor soon this season. There's a quick stick opportunity, and look at the defense there as Robert Hope recovered just in time, and in doing so keeps the score 8-5, and now gives the Mammoth a chance here to kill some clock on the power play as they've got 1:38 remaining to kill off, and instead they get a shorty. As streaking through the crease was Chris Wardle, who finally gets rewarded for what has been some really good play. And that is a nice finish by that young man. And that has to feel good for him.
Kurt Milosky was looking right at the challenge there, but puts the flag away. And you can see that the Jumbotron crew giving Milosky an extra look there, but that one looked clean from here as Wardle finally gets off the schneid here. He had all kinds of opportunities in this game and finally puts one behind Frank Chiliano.
And showing some wheels in the process. Calgary will remain on the power play here for another 1:30. But now best they can do is sort of an even up situation here as they've given up that shorthanded goal. And it's now a 2-goal lacrosse game here, 8-6. Calgary's led by 4 twice. This one's getting tight here. The Mammoth, no surprise, are not going away in this one. We'll see if Calgary can cash in 5-on-4. There's a shot that's blocked, and the Mammoth could be off the races here. Breakaway opportunity, shorthanded again. Capito puts it off the bar. Joey Capito in all alone and rings iron. Calgary giving up some grade A chances here on the power play. And now we'll go back to work 5-on-4, 45 seconds remaining in the power play. Played up high. And now back into the stick of Jeff Shatler. There's a shot. Nice glove save by Bouquet as he just reached out with the arm at the last minute. Bit of a reaction stop there, but it does the job. Calgary, though, recovers. There's another shot wide. Rebound off of Bouquet, and he scrambles to keep it out. and the score remains 8-6. Power play over for the Roughnecks.
Well, that was an interesting shot too, because it went off of the back boards, seemed to hit Bouquet in the back and drop right in front of the goal line.
8-6 rather the score. Roughnecks lead by 2. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com. Eight-6 your score here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome. The Roughnecks with a 2-goal cushion against a Mammoth team who was battled all night long. The Mammoth going down early in this one 5-1, but have really battled back twice. They were down 8-4 as well, now 8-6, so this one is getting tight as we get set here to start the play. It is Mammoth possession here with 23 seconds remaining in the Calgary power play, so they put Bouquet on the bench just to give them the possession. All the way down the floor, an opportunity developing there out of absolutely nothing for Brent Adams. And a big save there by Chiliano. Now here's Shatler with some space as the floor really opens up out of nowhere here for both teams. That doesn't work, and here come the Mammoth again off and running. It's Cam Holding in transition, dances around one man, has help with him, but that pass doesn't get through. And the Roughnecks recover here as we're back to 5-on-5 play with 4:10 remaining here in the third quarter. Shatler has it. Shatler to Digby. Now Digby to Dixon. Spins off his man and scores! Curtis Dixon with a beauty. 9-6 Calgary.
Well, we talked earlier when Curtis Dixon went between the legs of Bouquet about flying across the crease and how that was his move, and he had to put the doubt in the mind of Bouquet by scoring that goal, and now Dixon flies across and scores, and it looks like this one's going to be challenged to see whether or not Dixon was in the crease. He was right tight to it if he wasn't in it, and this one going to be challenged. We'll find out whether or not Dixon has restored a 4-goal lead.
Well, I think a sensible challenge here. Certainly, as you say, he was right there on top of the crease, but also a big time in this game. 4 minutes to go here, 3:57 to be exact in the third quarter, and a difference between a 3-goal lead and a 2-goal lead for the Roughnecks. And we'll get the replay and show you what they see as well, as this is our first look.
That looked
all sorts of bodies in the way there. I don't think you're going to be able to tell there unless it's when he lands.
It's first instinct for me.
Where's the ball? I mean,
I think he's off the ground there.
You can see the ball is in the net, probably there.
That's before he lands.
It doesn't land until there. And it looks like he took off outside the crease. It's a pretty good look there. It's in the net right there, and I don't think he's on the, well, you can't tell on that angle, but this might be our best look.
See, I thought the question was his takeoff foot, whether or not his takeoff foot was
I think it's when he landed that
on
they're
the
really
ground.
concerned about. But, I mean, again, you can see the official is in just the perfect position to make the call. And the crowd here has already voted. Unfortunately, their vote doesn't count.
You know, I think the crowd here is far better at finding the donut under the moving Tim Hortons cup than they are at being objective on whether or not a goal review should count, depending on whose team is whose. But yeah, that 1 foot by Dixon is clean. And
Yeah, he doesn't land until right there.
until it's in the net. That's pretty conclusive from this broadcaster's perspective. We'll see what the referee thinks, though, because of course I don't get paid to referee.
No.
Thank God.
I cannot imagine trying to officiate a game of lacrosse.
No.
Just the cardio required.
Well, there's that too, but I mean, yeah, that looks like it's well in the net before his hand touches down. I mean,
it's close enough that they're giving it multiple looks. So
that's clearly outside the crease.
Does his knee drag or anything like that? I mean, I've been looking at his hands, but
I don't
does
think
that
his
toe
knee
drag
or
or
his-
that toe, the right toe, as he's taking off, does it drag into the crease?
I don't think you can see anything there that would indicate it does. I mean,
they're going to call it a good goal.
Yeah, so make that 0 for 2 from the Colorado bench.
And 0 for 3 overall. The challenges
Yes.
have not gone the coach's ways tonight.
No. The referees have got it right, in their opinion, every time.
Well, and you can see that every time. Again, the officials were in perfect position to see the call.
Yeah.
Sometimes that position in the live play is better than what we get on the camera just because of the bodies and the angles and whatnot. So, nonetheless, score now is 9-6. Calgary with the 3-goal cushion. And that comes with just under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And here's an opportunity off the faceoff for Calgary. Burton thought he might get a chance in tight as he was peeling to the net, did not get the pass. And Calgary will let the offensive unit go to work instead, including the rookie Holden Katoni. He passes off to sophomore man Wes Berg. Back to Katoni. Katoni closes. Katoni to the net. Tried to find that far side. Had some room there, but couldn't put it on net. And now a loose ball scramble picked up by the Mammoth, who again find themselves trailing. That was the situation a week ago for the Mammoth too. They had a 1-0 lead, and that would be it. The rest of the night, really, where they were battling back, and we've seen that time and time again. It is just tough to do that for a full game of lacrosse.
Yeah, which is different about the Roughnecks this season as well. They've really kind of gotten out to leads early and been able to hold on. That one game against Vancouver being the lone exception. Of course, a rough outing, a rough first outing for Christian Del Bianco in that one, as he allowed 7 goals on not very many shots and found the Roughnecks trailing most of the night. But otherwise, they've been ahead for the vast majority of the rest of their games.
There's a submarine shot, nice save there by Bouquet, but it's going to be a over and back against the Mammoth, and Calgary's going to get possession right back.
Yeah, can't enter the crease with the ball if you're a defensive player or an offensive player for that matter, if you're already outside of it when you pick it up.
So Calgary will look to take advantage here of this second opportunity this time down the floor. It's Berg. That pass to Digby. Digby didn't handle it at all, and instead it will be the Mammoth taking over, courtesy of Creighton Reed. Play down the floor. And now here is Callum Crawford. Crawford has help off the bench, gets the return pass. Now looks to make something happen here as the Mammoth are down by 3 here. Here's Wardle to the net again, takes the shot, piles into the crease, bodies everywhere, ball remains out. But a nice move there by Chris Wardle to try and make this a 2-goal game.
Yeah, he's certainly showing a nose for the net this evening, just hasn't been able to beat Chiliano, but for that one opportunity. And a lot of chances for Chris Wardle, but unable to get past Frankie Chiliano.
Well, if you're on the floor with Callum Crawford, you're going to get chances, that's for sure. There's a hard pick that's called, so that'll give possession back to the Mammoth. And with 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter, Colorado races down the floor. Greg Downing will pass off and head to the bench. Gives it to Zach Haywires. Haywires passes off, and now they have it to Crawford again. Crawford back to the defender, takes a couple of chops, a cross check. Crawford tries to spin around the defender, instead passes off. Now Rouet tried to find his way to the net and well defended. So he'll give it back to Crawford, who tries to swim around the defender, then double team, tough angle shot, gets it on net to try and get a new 30. Calgary's gonna have an opportunity to move it. They're gonna have to do it quickly though. Pass ahead, and they just get it over the line in time as Carnegie has it. Carnegie sends it to Doby, flying in off the bench. Doby getting all sorts of attention. Might have been trying to draw a penalty there, and actually has a couple words for the official once he got rid of the ball. Now has it back. Doby now looking to cut to the net. Turned aside. Now we do have a delayed penalty coming up to the Mammoth, and as Doby is dumped, we'll get that call. It comes with 32.4 seconds to go, and Doby continues to provide the officials with input on how he thinks the game should be called. But nonetheless, the Mammoth take one here, as it looks like it will be Jordan Gillis who will sit down. Didn't get the call there, Ryan. Did you hear the call from the official?
Not entirely sure what the call was. I mean, based on what Doby was doing where Gillis was, I'm going to assume holding.
So Calgary now with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter will again go to work 5-on-4. Last time when they were 5-on-4, gave up a shorthanded goal and almost gave up a second one on a breakaway too. So we'll see if they tighten things up here. Shatler plays it across the other side, working around nicely, but Digby can't handle the quick pass right on top of the crease. And with 10 seconds to go here, the Mammoth sent it down the floor. Holding has it. Holding, nice pass to Capito. Capito try to send it across to Greer, breaking off the bench. Instead it goes to the wall, and we'll go to the final quarter with the Roughnecks enjoying a 9-6 lead, but still plenty of time for the Mammoth to make this one tight. 34-24 your shots on goal after that third quarter. And we'll see if Kayla Spees is able to grab a member of the Roughnecks. Looks like she might be talking with sophomore sensation Wes Berg, as we will send it down to the floor momentarily to Kayla Spees.
Thanks a lot, Mookie. Wesley, you guys have held the lead for the majority of the game, for the entire game, but there's still one quarter left, and it's Colorado. So what do you guys have to do to keep this going for the last 15 minutes?
We got to stay out of the penalty box. We play 5-on-5. We've got what we wanted offensively and defensively. They haven't been able to create much against us except on the power play, so we got to make sure we stay out.
That goes into my next question. Obviously, there's been some penalty trouble this game. How do you guys keep calm against your division rival?
Yeah, that's the key. We can't take any retaliation penalties. Obviously, they don't mind taking one to the box or two and playing 4-on-4. So we've just got to make sure we keep our composure and keep putting balls in the back of the net.
Okay, thanks a lot for this.
Thank you.
Wesley Berg.
All right, thanks, Kayla. In conversation with Wes Berg, 9-6 your score heading to the final quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
Scott Digby on the take, scores! Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot, hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
9-6 as we start the fourth quarter here tonight. Scotiabank Saddledome. The Mammoth find themselves down by 3, but within striking distance here if they can get the offense going. And they get the opening possession of that final quarter. Here is Greer when the pass is absolutely feasted on the Calgary Roughnecks, primarily with his time with the Rush, including a 6-goal quarter against the Roughnecks. Interesting stat, Adam Jones and Zach Greer are the 2 players in NLL history to score 6 goals in a quarter, and they were traded for each other in the summer. I find that weird.
It is an interesting coincidence for sure.
Now the Roughnecks get possession back. On offense now looking for a full 4-goal lead. Dixon passes off, scores! Hat-trick goal for Dane Doby as he beats Bouquet from middle distance, I would say. And that makes it 10-6.
Yeah, I don't know that Bouquet was expecting the shot there, as it was kind of early in the shot clock, and Doby just found some room over the shoulder of Bouquet to drop it in the top corner of the net, and again come away with a 4-goal lead, the third 4-goal lead that the Roughnecks have had in this game so far.
Well, again, that's what we were talking about. When you're behind in these games, you work and you work and you work and you get back to within 1 or 2, and in a moment, all of a sudden you're down by 4 or 5 again. It's a story we've seen play out over and over again. It is just so hard to chase in this league. We see tons of great comebacks, but it is a hard and exhausting thing to do, and the Mammoth now have their work cut out for them. But expect no quit in their game, as they still have 13, nearly 14 minutes to work with here. That is gobs of time when it comes to the NLL. Here's Manning for the Roughnecks. And now it comes to Digby. Digby scored goal number 100 of his young NLL career a week ago. There's a shot, bouncer off of Bouquet, who handles it nicely. Berg tried to bounce it off the wall, can't handle that. And now Capito rather bounces it to himself, as the ball seems to have a mind of its own right now. Finally gathered in. And now Downing has it with some room, tries a shot deflected off the stick of the defender. And then a collision there of sorts. I think incidental contact, you could call that. And everyone's fine, no call to be made there. And the Roughnecks have possession back now with exactly 13 minutes to go here, and a 10-6 Calgary lead. Here is Westberg. Berg now in the high slot, tries a shot, looked like he might have had a bit of room in the corner. Calgary recovers the loose ball, but just 5 to shoot. Berg tries his luck from well outside just to try and reset the 30, hits a defender. Might have been Downing's stick there, and the Mammoth will take over. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan will pass off and head to the bench. Wardle handles a pass that was down on his knees, recovers. Now passes over to the other side. Now McLaughlin, who has had a very strong game tonight, his pass is intercepted by the Roughnecks, and they are off to the races. At this point, Calgary will start to manage the clock a little bit early to really manage it too tightly, but certainly they, I think, will not look to have quick strike opportunities unless they are golden ones. Otherwise, they will try and use the full 30 as the clock starts to become the enemy of the Mammoth here. There's a low shot in on Bouquet. Again, he handles it and handles the rebound. Say he's been good since coming in relief. He's given his team a chance to come back in this one. Now here's Reed in transition. Reed passes off. There's the shot. That wide of the net. That was off the stick of Zach Haywires. And now down to the corner, we'll get a whistle. That'll be over and back against the Mammoth. Play whistled in. Shatler. Rainbow pass. Too slow, too long. And read nicely there by Gillis of the Mammoth. He goes all the way, scores! Jordan Gillis just takes care of business himself, and it's 10-7 on a sloppy pass from Jeff Shatler that was picked off easily.
Yeah, Shatler's coming back to the bench with his head down there as Gillis puts it home behind Frank Sciliano. 10-7 now the score in favor of the Roughnecks, and that's a pass that the Roughnecks make often back to the bench. Well scouted by the Colorado Mammoth. That's the second time they've tried to pick that pass off, this time successfully, and it leads to a goal.
That was a long one to try and get there, though. That was a long distance for it to go, and gave Gillis time to read it and recover. And then he just shows the finish on the other end. And we'll see if that gives the Mammoth some momentum here as they have some life and some hope in this one, down just by 3 and 11:15 to go here in the final quarter. Again, oodles of time for them to work with here, and they have possession again. Zach Greer can do a ton of damage in a hurry. He takes a shot, deflected, I believe, before it got to Chiliano. It took an odd flight there, and eventually Calgary just takes it off the netting. And with under 11 minutes to go now, will try and restore their 4-goal cushion. Here is Curtis Dixon. Dixon will now go across to Doby. Doby gets all sorts of attention, gets some help from Katoni. Now passes it down low. Eventually it comes over to Dixon, tries a shot, blocked by Josh Sullivan, who shows all sorts of bravery by getting in the way of a Curtis Dixon shot. Sullivan picks up the ball now. And now the Mammoth get the offense on the floor, including Chris Wardle. Wardle now passes off to Eli McLaughlin. He can't take the ball with him, and Calgary turns it over nicely. And now in transition, here's Tyler Burton. Burton has a lane, and eventually passes off. There's a shot, fought off by Bouquet as the ball just was spinning every way, as was Bouquet, but it stays out.
Some adventure there from Alex Bouquet in the crease as it took a backspin and bounced back towards the net.
Again, the score remains 10-7 though, and the Mammoth now with a chance to make it tighter. There's a stuff attempt up high, that doesn't work. And the Roughnecks take the loose ball and run it over center. There's a nice move and opportunity down low, shot off the post as that was a hard angle opportunity there for Riley Lowen, and he put it right off the bar. And with 9:36 to go, Calgary will continue to lead here 10-7. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
All right, let's check out the 2 goals going head-to-head in this edition of Versus. We're going to start with the champion, Jerome Thompson of the Georgia Swarm. He's going to cut down that right-hand side, shake off his brother and defender Ryan Dilks, then shoot that behind-the-back shot to beat Tyler Carlson with it. That's our champion for the past 2 weeks. And this week, he goes up against Jordan Durston of the Vancouver Stealth, who gets the ball behind the net on the power play, fakes once, twice, and then the diving shot and scores. Pretty unbelievable. I think that we've got quite the challenger on our hands. One more look here. Unbelievable goal. So, fans, who have you got? The champion, Jerome Thompson, or the new challenger, Jordan Durston? Head to Twitter now to cast your vote.
When a game is more than just a game and means more than winning. When you can feel hard hits and smooth moves. When you watch sparks fly and wheels turn. You know it's more than just a game. You better brace yourself for the loudest house in lacrosse.
10-7, the Calgary Roughnecks lead the Colorado Mammoth here. 9.5 minutes to go on the game clock, and Calgary with possession. Dixon has it to Berg, into the slot. Nice save there by Bouquet off of Dane Doby in his bid for a 4th of the night, and recovered there nicely by the Mammoth. Holding sends it ahead as Robert Hope in transition. Hope now will send it into the corner. Crawford up high nine to Wardle. Wardle now has Eli McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets the return pass. 10 to shoot. Greer to McLaughlin, takes a shot, scores! Eli McLaughlin, 4th of the night. And all of a sudden, we've got a 2-goal game. It's 10-8.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Lacrosse isn't a sport you can sleep on. What a move by McLaughlin there.
He's been impressive the whole night.
Yeah, he's looked real good tonight, and we're going to get an overhead look as that one goes in right before he enters the crease. What a goal from Eli McLaughlin. 4th of the night makes it 10-8.
The Mammoth just refusing to go away in this one. And now with 9 minutes to go, 8:56 to be exact, we are in for a heck of a finish here tonight in Calgary. And the Mammoth get possession off the face-off. Downing recovers the ball, sends it to Hope. Back to Downing. And you can see the Mammoth now starting to feel like they've got some momentum here to build on. And here's McLaughlin. Now it comes to Wardle. Wardle now looking at his option. Why not give it to McLaughlin? He's been hot all night. Has it again. Tries a shot. Bounce shot. Fought off by Chiliano into the netting. And that'll be a fresh 30 for the Mammoth. Play is whistled in. McLaughlin up high again. This time he'll put it to Greer. Greer has a step. Greer tries a shot. Blocked. And it comes right away to the Roughnecks. And looked like there might be an opportunity for McRae there, but he thinks better of it as Greer did a nice job of getting back to play some defense. He's stuck on the floor right now. Gets some direction from the veteran Creighton Reed in terms of where he should go. See if the Roughnecks can take advantage of Greer being out on defense for this time. Dobie has it, guarded by Greer. Dobie now with 7 to shoot. Gets around one man, tries a shot down low. Bouquet stays with him the entire way. And then a nice play there by Catoni to recover it and give Calgary another possession here. Dixon now as they'll work it from the right side. Dixon and Dobie go back and forth. Now there's a shot, scores! Holden Catoni from well out. And that's a big one for him and his team. It's 11-8 Calgary.
Yeah, big goal from the rookie there. He pretty much powers this one through as Bouquet gets a whole lot of it, just not enough as he fires it down low and it squeaks through Bouquet and into the bottom corner of the net. As you'll see here, Bouquet gets most of it, but just the 5-hole enough, woven just wide enough for the rookie to score and restore a 3-goal lead.
Well, we've seen at times with Holden Catoni that he can really rip it. Second goal of the season for that young man. First round selection of the Roughnecks in this past draft. Grew up just outside the city in De Winton, Alberta, so a local product. And looks to have a bright future in the NLL and has a big goal here for his team to make it a 3-goal cushion again. The Mammoth, though, will now look to answer right away. Opportunity, shot on net, saved by Chiliano off of Brent Adams, who has been dangerous at times tonight as well. And now here come the Roughnecks. 7:09 to go here. So that clock's starting to really play against the Mammoth. Jeff Shatler holding onto the ball. Now to Dixon. Dixon has Digby come over, that's Berg to set a pick. Trying to isolate the one-on-one. Instead it comes over to the far side. Dobie can't handle it. Ball still up for grabs. Dobie fighting for it. And the shot clock will expire, and that'll give the Mammoth possession now with 6:40 to go here on the game clock. They need to start taking advantage of possessions here, or they're going to run out of time. Here's Crawford now, always dangerous, tries a little spin move, well defended, so he'll have to pass off. That pass over to the near side, not handled cleanly by McLaughlin. He has to come back over to Crawford. Crawford with a bit of a step and a shot, tricky shot, handled by Chiliano. Rouet comes over for the loose ball to keep the effort alive here for the Mammoth. Now McLaughlin again. McLaughlin gets a pick. He'll instead pass off. Here's Crawford. Crawford, another spin move, another shot on net. Chiliano handles that one as well.
A nice stop from Chiliano. Kurt Woloski's always talked about his goaltender saying it's not the saves that you make, it's when you make them. And that's absolutely a vital stop with just 6 minutes to go and a 3-goal lead. You start counting 30-second possessions, and if the Roughnecks can hold on to the clock on theirs, they might be able to time this game out.
Now here's Digby. Digby leaning on his man. Comes to Dixon, a ripper that just goes wide. Shatler's going to try and save it. Can't, and that'll give the Mammoth possession on the over and back.
Oh, and another delay of game coming here to Jeff Shatler.
I think he felt he was trying to save it there, not throw it away, but that's not how the officials saw it. And that is going to give the Mammoth a power play that has connected 4 times tonight on 6 opportunities. And Jeff Shatler not agreeing with that one, nor the fans here in Calgary. The fans, by the way, 11,280 of them. So a strong crowd here tonight to watch what has been a good game between these two longtime rivals. McLaughlin playing the high position as they work it around. Comes to Greer now. Now McLaughlin's in the slot area, just looking to cause some havoc down there. Crawford and Greer going back and forth. Now Greer in front, immediately greeted. Great defense there by the Roughnecks to come down on him together, strip the ball away. And with exactly 5 minutes to go here, Calgary continues to lead 11-8. A minute 30 remaining in that power play. A power play that the Mammoth absolutely have to connect on if they want to have a chance in this. When they turn the ball over quickly down on their own end, and running it down the floor is Taylor Stewart. Stewart steps over center. And now the Mammoth will set up the 5-on-4. It's Wardle with it. Wardle has Greer with them, delivers the ball to him. Now Crawford to McLaughlin. Now to Greer. Greer tries a shot, save off the shin of Chiliano. Saved by the Mammoth, though. They'll get another opportunity. Here's Crawford now. Crawford up high to McLaughlin. McLaughlin back to Crawford. Crawford shoots. Another save by Chiliano. Another recovery by the Mammoth. 47 seconds to go in the power play. Crawford up high to McLaughlin. McLaughlin shoots, misses the net. Rebound is put wide. Up high again. Another shot in on net, over the net. And finally, Chiliano recovers it. And Calgary survives a very long power play possession by the Mammoth.
Yeah, look, a full minute and a half in Calgary's end, and Chiliano full marks on that penalty kill for doing yeoman work, keeping the ball out of the net. 4 opportunities, 4 shots from the Mammoth on that opportunity.
And Calgary will just wind down that power play here as it's now under 10 seconds. Doby will hold and just let the shot clock expire. And that'll give the Mammoth all of 5 seconds to work with. When we return, final timeout on the floor. Calgary leads by 3, 11-8. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era, a new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original 4 arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia converged to create the NLL star, a modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
Walks into the play is Jeff Shatler. And that pass picked off nicely by the Roughnecks. And they come down the floor. More than likely will be intent to kill a full 30 here. And then look for a late opportunity. And we'll start to look at Alex Bouquet once the Mammoth have possession back, as I expect they're going to have to start to go with the extra attacker here as time is running out. That pass hits a stick, and then off the top of the boards, Bouquet comes out and grabs it and sends it ahead. Here's Capito. Capito now enters the Calgary end of the floor. Bouquet stays in his net now with under 3 minutes to go. That surprises me a little bit. That's how they're going to play it, though. Greer now has a man in front. There's a shot saved by Chiliano off of Eli McLaughlin. And now here comes Calgary back down the other end of the floor. That might be it when it comes to the Mammoth's efforts here to get back into this one. Now here's Dixon. Dixon to Doby. Doby now just running away from any sort of attention. Now has a lane to the net. Doby all the way. Falls, puts it on net. Save made by Bouquet. Doby lobbies for a penalty, but none is forthcoming. And now this time Bouquet does go to the bench. It comes with 2 minutes to go here. And Downing has it for the Mammoth. So 6 on 5 here with the extra attacker here for the Mammoth. Crawford has it to McLaughlin. They go back and forth. McLaughlin back to Crawford again. Crawford to McLaughlin again. Down low now. There's the shot. Hit Giuliano up high. Rebound put over the net. The Mammoth recovered. Bouquet started to go back. Now he'll go back to the bench. And again, we'll work at 6 on 5 here, but now just 90 seconds on the game clock. And then it's picked off by the Roughnecks. And they'll step over center here. And the empty net is available. Schaller couldn't handle the pass, and that gives Bouquet a chance to get back in there. Although I think the Roughnecks may have been happy just to kill the clock anyways, and now we're going to get a whistle on the play. And I think might have been a timeout call by the Roughnecks.
Yeah, I think timeout on the Roughnecks bench with 14 seconds to go in this possession. Kurt Malosky probably just bring the troops in, let them know what to expect in the last couple moments here.
A reminder, this copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Also want to remind you that NLL TV has officially launched now on Apple TV, so make sure you download the app and access all the NLL TV content from your Apple TV device. And 11-8 the score here tonight in Calgary. We do have a penalty to the Mammoth. Ryan, I didn't catch the call there. Interference, it looks like, is the call.
Yeah,
that comes to Bryce Sweeting.
Which may be why Kurt Malosky called the penalty, because rather than it gives you a fresh 30, it gives you possession, and so I wonder if that's why the call was made when it was. And again, Star Wars night here at the Rough House, which is why we've got a giant Wookiee in the crowd.
And this will be a penalty shot, of course, because of it coming late in the game. And it will be Curtis Dixon taking the shot. In there, scores! Curtis Dixon on the penalty shot. That will do it. Make the score 12-8.
Yeah, not to say it can't happen for the Colorado Mammoth, but I would suggest it can't happen for the Colorado Mammoth, down 12-8 with 1:12 to go. That penalty, and again, credit Malosky on the bench for calling the penalty, or for calling the timeout to get that possession and get the power play. All goals under 2 minutes are reviewed, so this one will be reviewed. Although you got to think on a penalty shot opportunity, it's going to be clean. Yeah,
well, you can see he's tight there, though. I mean, I think it's a good goal, but
Curtis Dixon walks the tightrope just about as well as anybody in the National Lacrosse League.
Just cuts it back over his own body to beat Bouquet. And as I said, that should just about do it.
Yeah, the referee getting a good look at it, though, not willing to ensure it's a goal. I mean, you can see the net riffle well before that foot lands. That's going to come out and very clearly be a goal.
So the Calgary Roughnecks look like they're going to win their third straight. And after the last couple of years, Ryan, with slow starts, this has to just be a massive relief for the Calgary Roughnecks to get their season off to a good start, as the last couple of years they've really had to battle down the stretch, primarily with the Vancouver Stealth, just to get in the playoffs, where they have managed to get to the second round twice, only run into the Rush, back-to-back champs. But with 58 seconds to go here on the game clock, the Mammoth aren't going to give up here yet, as Bouquet will go to the bench and they'll work at 6 on 5 again. McLaughlin drops it briefly, gets it back to Crawford. Now there's the shot wide of the net, way up in the air. And that'll give the Roughnecks possession back here.
Yeah, it's over and back will be the call. And John Harnett just killing clock here, heading back towards the bench.
Digby has it. Digby over to Doby. Doby into the hands of Schattler. Schattler back to Digby, nearly picked off. With now 30 seconds to go, the Roughnecks just want to hang on to possession here. And Tyler Digby, a good guy to hang on to the ball. It is tough to get it away from him. He'll just deposit the ball down to the corner. And this one will run down. An impressive win here by the Calgary Roughnecks as they came out strong, leading 5-1 in the first quarter. And Mammoth refusing to quit, got back close a couple times, but at the end of the day, just too little too late, as you can make the final score 12-8 as the Calgary Roughnecks to improve to 3-1 on the season and post their first win here at Scotiabank Saddledome.
Yeah, the first win at home, the third win of the year for the Calgary Roughnecks, who rode a very solid goaltending performance from one Frank Chiliano, and Dane Doby and Jeff Schattler getting the job done on offense. Curtis Dixon adds the late penalty shot goal, but really it was the left side getting it done tonight, and as a result they find themselves the 12-8 victory, and they take the season series from the Colorado Mammoth. Just one more game against the Mammoth down the road, that not coming until March, but anytime you can get a season series from a division rival, it's a very valuable thing to hold in your pocket, and that's what the Roughnecks have now against the Mammoth.
Absolutely. Some offensive totals for you here. Dane Doby 3-4 for a 7-point evening. Curtis Dixon 4 goals, 6 points overall. Westberg 2-3, and Jeff Schattler 6 points, 1-5. The first point of the evening, breaking Caleb Toast's record for franchise points for the Roughnecks as he moves into first place and gives himself a little bit of distance as well. Riley Lowen picks up a single goal. Holden Catoni, the rookie, 1-1. So the Roughnecks getting contributions from all over the floor tonight. When it comes to the Colorado Mammoth, it was the Eli McLaughlin show as he continues his strong start to the season. 4 goals, 5 points overall. Callum Crawford, 4 helpers. And then you had Jordan Gillis, Jacob Rouet, and Chris Wardle all chipping in as well. But really, outside of Eli McLaughlin, the Mammoth simply couldn't get the offense going tonight, Ryan.
No, you know, it's one or the other, because I'd suggest Frank Chiliano kept a lot of those goals out that they might have scored on other nights. I think that the goaltender had a spectacular evening, and it does turn out to be all about that man tonight, though. Jeff Schattler sets a new franchise record for points, and congratulations to him. Dane Doby, every time he scores, it's a franchise record for goals scored, and now a lot of those will set 2 records as he often gets the ball from number 77. So 2 record-breaking performances tonight, and they'll continue to break records together on that left side throughout the course of the season.
And we're going to send it down momentarily to the floor here, and Kayla Spees, who has, I believe, Dane Doby with her.
Thanks a lot, Mookie. Dane, let's talk about the game first. Beating Colorado back-to-back is no easy feat. What worked for the team tonight?
Yeah, you know, Colorado's a great team, so we just came in here and stuck to our game plan that our coaching staff put in, and I think all 20 guys or 18 guys on the floor worked hard tonight, and it's a well-deserved win for us.
Now, tonight you had a hat trick and 4 assists. Last weekend you got your 300th goal, and it's our first time being able to talk to you. That is a huge accomplishment, and you're obviously continuing on with those goals. Yeah, awesome from the fans too. What does it mean to you to get that?
Yeah, you know, it's awesome. It just means I'm kind of old, I guess, but you know, it's really nice doing it here in Calgary, and I've been here for 10 years, and I still say it to this day, this is the best crowd we've in the league, and they support us all the way, and it's nice getting them a win tonight.
Like you mentioned, you did this all in a Roughnecks jersey. It doesn't really happen that often in the league.
Yeah, you know, I've had the privilege to play for one team, and you know, I'm very grateful to be here, and great ownership, and you know, great fans, like I said before, and hopefully I don't have to go anywhere else, and I can stick around here for a little longer.
Well, congratulations on another stellar night. Thanks a lot, Dane.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kayla. In conversation with Dane Doby, big night for him, and he's off to a good start to his season, as are the Calgary Roughnecks, now 3-1 after the 12-8 12-8 win over the Colorado Mammoth here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome. A couple reminders for you. The Calgary Roughnecks back at the Dome again next Saturday. That's February 4th versus the Saskatchewan Rush. Game time is 7 p.m. in that one. You can get your tickets at calgaryroughnecks.com. The Colorado Mammoth also return home next week, and that's a Saturday night tilt against the Georgia Swarm. Game time in that one, 7 p.m. You can get your tickets at coloradomammoth.com. And Ryan, 3 stars tonight. Eli McLaughlin, number 3. Jeff Shatler, number 2. And he gets a huge ovation from the fans here in Calgary. And I have a feeling the number 1 star tonight will be the man we just heard from, Kayla, Mr. Dane Doby, as he put together a heck of a night. And last week it was the Dixon Digby Berg show, and tonight, Ryan, it was the other side doing most of the work.
Well, yeah, exactly. When you focused on the left side, they shut down Dane Doby last week. To a degree, they took that out. They decided that the right side wasn't going to beat them tonight, and despite Wes Berg having a pair, Curtis Dixon had a hat trick, but really the left side was what picked up the slack tonight. And too often last season we found that the left side wasn't there when the right side wasn't having it. Tonight, Tyler Digby held goalless after going for 5 last week, but Dane Doby more than picking up the slack with 7 points of his own.
Absolutely. And again, your final score 12-8 as Calgary moves to 3-1 on the season and remains in first place in the West Division. Ryan, as we wrap up, just your final thoughts on what we saw here tonight on Star Wars night here at the Dome.
Well, the Rebel Alliance was strong, and considering that the jerseys were harder to read than Rebel bases are to find, I think all in all, a solid night. Apologies to Tyson Bell, who every time he had the ball, I think we thought it was Scott Carnegie, but nevertheless, at the end of the day, a 3-1 victory, a 12-8 win, and with the Star Wars theme playing in the background, everybody walking out in happy and enthusiastic about the next opportunity to see these guys, which they don't have to wait long for next week back here at the Dome.
Once again, your final score 12-8, Calgary over Colorado. For Ryan Ballantyne, my name is Grant Farhall. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on NLLTV.com.